When I was 2 years old, I had a near-death experience when I was out with my mom, my sister, and brothers, and I stopped breathing for about 15 seconds. And my mom is jerking me, "Lee, Lee, Lee," and everybody else is just looking, wondering what's going on. Well, obviously I made it because I'm here today, but unfortunately my mom isn't. So this story is about my visits to her grave. See, she died when I was just 3 years old, and my grandma took me, my brothers, and my sister in. And even though we were young, she knew once we got older and started to understand death, we would need each other for that support. And I remember my brothers telling me a story and how my mom came to them in their sleep and wanted them to tell us all that she loved us. So for a long time I thought, well, why didn't you come to me? And I prayed that she would come, and she never did, and I just gave up. And as I was growing up, I started to be bitter. I never wanted people around me or anything like that. But the fact that I had to grow up quicker than most kids, I realized that I was feeling this way because I didn't have my mom in my life, and it was really affecting me. So I thought one thing that would help me is if I started to visit her grave. And it became a tradition to go every year for me. You see, the first visit I went to was in my 9th grade school year. And I had went back to my older brothers and I asked them about that story that they told me when I was younger. And I misunderstood because it wasn't a dream. My mom came to them when they were at her house sleeping, and she woke them up, said, "Come to my room," and said that if I die, I want you guys to know that I love you all. So when I visited her grave, I asked her that over and over again, and it made me so sad. I cried, and I was looking at the little circle of stones she had, and I was pulling off the grass, and you could hear it just as I pull it from the ground. And as I left, it started thunderstorming really bad. And every time I went there after that year, it always rained really bad. My grandma told me that my mom was trying to get back on the right track, and that she had gave me up because she was on drugs. But before her life ended, she was on the right path, trying to figure out her life. So then I felt like it was my duty to finish her footsteps, to find that path that she was trying to find, and make sure that I stayed on it and never went astray like she did, for the better of her. So my 11th and 12th grade year, I did outstanding. I started to find myself a little bit, and I started taking on more responsibility for myself. When I had went to visit her in 12th grade with my girlfriend, we were looking for the grave for about 10 minutes. And I really could not find it, and I just wanted to give up and walk away. But my girlfriend said, "No, we have to find it. You have to do this. You have to." So she walked over to where I was and just stopped and looked down and was like, "I found it." So we go over there, and to my, acknowledgement, I'm like, whoa, her grave is bigger than what I've ever noticed before. I didn't know it was this big. So I sit down, and I feel the marble, and I can see it glistening. And it's like a glassy feeling as I rub my fingers across it. Really clean, like they just shined it. And then, in the words there it says, "In love and memory," engraved into the stone. And a prayer hand. So, I run my fingers through that, and it scrapes against my fingers. And I wish that I had a memory. I cried then, and the tears dropped. And I swear you could almost hear them. So it was getting late, and we decided to go. We debated on, are we going to go closer to the bus stop, or are we going to leave to the closest exit and then walk to the bus stop? Well, we took the second option, and on our way there, we just happened to run into my grandma's family's grave. And I was like excited because I didn't know they were here, and I didn't know some of them were still alive. So I couldn't wait to get home to tell my grandma. And as we left the grave, I seen people playing basketball, shooting, hear the chains rattling, yelling, "Pass me the ball, pass me the ball." Then it starts raining, And it's not even like the rain that I always experienced. It was a light rain, misty rain, and it was falling, and it was just like the cool breeze went through the air. It went from being hot to a cool breeze, and the water hit my skin. Felt really nice. And then the clouds started coming in, and they were getting dark. I was for sure that this storm, it was gonna be bad, and we were gonna get caught in it. But there was a circle in the sky, just for the sun to fit in, and it was shining right down on me. And I felt like I was in a movie. I was like, I gotta take a picture of this because ain't nobody gonna believe it. So I started snapping the pictures, then we keep on walking. And then when we get to the bus stop, we turn around, and the clouds aren't as dark anymore. The rain has stopped, and there's a rainbow that shoots out across the sky. And that was the day I felt like we connected.